Hello, welcome to My Toy Life. So here we go. We're going to bring Mike in now. Well, hello, Mike.
Hiya, Terry.
Welcome to the show, My Toy Life.
No, thanks. Glad to be aboard.
So people call you Medic Mike.
Yes, they do.
You want to tell us about that?
Yeah, we could do that. Well, a few years back, I was after I had learned to flock and stuff. That had been 5 years ago, I think, maybe more. No, almost 6 now. Anyhow, talked to a fellow named Billy Reynolds who runs the original G.I. Joe Collectors Group, and he kind of tagged me with that name, and I kind of ignored it at first. But then once I started having people ask me, hey, can you do this for me? Can you fix that for me? Can you flock this for me? I figured, well, yeah, that's kind of fitting. And if I'm going to be doing this and make a few bucks and fix people's things, I'm going to need a name. So I just kind of added that. Yeah,
so
it worked for me.
Yeah, and you enjoy fixing things?
I love it. It's a great time. I'm kind of mechanically minded. I like to fix stuff. I mean, I do small engines. I used to be a mechanic, and I pretty much fix a lot of things on my own that a lot of people would take to a shop or a professional. And it just kind of bleeds over into the hobby here. I started out when I bought, the first Joes I bought, they all needed some work. And so I just learned how to restring, learned how to flock, learned how to fix, all those kinds of things. And it just kind of blossomed out from there. And it's been a great ride. I love it. It's fun. I do most figure repairs. Let's see, there's some things I haven't touched yet because nobody's asked me to do them, like Super Joe repairs, for example. But I do the restringing, the reflocking, the repainting of the painted heads, talker fixes, just about anything has to do with the figure. You can replace the pins, and
Awesome.
I've done a lot of muscle body work lately. A lot of people, for some reason, seem to be getting muscle bodies to send to me, so that's a good thing too. Yeah. I'm not a fan of MBs myself, but hey, if you want me to fix them, I can do that too.
Wonderful. What have you been working on lately? Anything special?
No, not too much. The usual, or nothing special too much, I should say. It's the usual flocking. I've got, look over this way here. You see those plastic boxes over there?
Oh,
those
yeah.
are all people's stuff that they've sent to me to fix. It's a combination of flocking and talker repairs have been really big lately. And I've got my own personal projects that I work on too. And I'll show you the latest one I just did for somebody. This is a little bit of a custom job. Well, you guys can see this.
Here he is. Yeah.
Yeah, it's for Chris Benson. I get a lot of guys wanting me to, different hair colors, different types of beards and mustaches and stuff. I do a lot of stuff for Paw Tucket Platoon. You may have seen some of his latest things that he's been selling. The flocking you see on those is 99% mine. In fact, I don't think he goes to anybody else, and that's a good thing too.
Yeah.
And Jeremy there and I have gotten together and created more than a few custom flocks for the figures he sells. And I do his, cleaning and restringing and that kind of stuff as well. So yeah, it's.
Yeah, I've seen some of his stuff. Does he make more than one figure, or does he just focus on one figure at a time?
I don't know how many he does at a time, but
okay.
I do know that he generally kicks them out one at a time.
Okay.
But I also know I don't want to give away too many of his things, but I don't think he'd mind if I mention that he's always got something in the works.
Yes, I've seen. I think I saw something a couple of days ago that he just released or was.
The Hawkeye figure. Is that the one you're talking about?
Hawkeye.
Yeah, yes, from MASH.
Yes. Yeah, from MASH. Yes.
Yeah. I did the flocking on those. Yeah.
Yeah, it was cool. It was good.
I can always tell when he's got a new project in the works because so you give me a message and say, hey, I'm sending you a bunch of stuff. I'm like, okay, what do you got up your sleeve now? So yeah, it's been a fun ride. And I've got to do a lot of stuff for a lot of people. So
well, what are your favorite figures? Do you have any of your own favorite figures?
Oh yeah. Adventure Team, most definitely. I'm an AT type. I got my first Joe in Christmas of '71, and it was Adventure Team for me. I was born in '64, so I was a little young for the military figures, although I do have some of those now. A couple friends of mine infected me with that disease. But yeah, my favorite military figures are the cadets, the dress uniform ones. Those are just some sharp outfits. And as far as the adventure team stuff goes, hey, anything AT I like. It don't matter if it's classic collection either. Their AT sets I think are pretty cool as well. So I've got most of that stuff, except for the really rare things. Anybody out there got a Magnum Power mint in a box that they want to sell me cheap? Yeah.
Oh
No,
my.
probably not, huh? That's right. I got the club set close enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's me. I mean, I got the vehicles and stuff as well. I love the vehicles of the adventure team. The MSV and the yellow ATVs and the troubleshooter and all that stuff. Very creative work by Hasbro and those flashy colors and stuff. When I was 8, 9, 10 years old, that really grabbed my attention as a kid.
If you were going to make an adventure, what would you make? Have you ever thought about that? One that was never made, or?
Oh, okay. That's a good thought. I would probably go with something in cryptozoology. When I was, again, back in the 70s, remember the Loch Ness Monster and Bigfoot was pretty cool.
Yeah.
And, Hasbro did a little bit of that with the Search for the Abominable Snowman. I would have loved to see a Bigfoot set. And I got a few thoughts on that myself. And I also thought that the Sea Wolf would probably be a good thing to put in the Loch Ness and see what they can find.
Yeah.
So if make my own adventure, I'd probably shoot off in that direction.
Now, me and Greg, we made the one last year for the monkey, the infected monkey, and that was one that he never could get Hasbro to do, and we came pretty close to what it was, not exactly, because he wanted to make it a little different than what he pitched for Hasbro, but we did come kind of close, and to me it was an amazing set, and when I finally offered it for sale, we only had 6 and they were gone within like an hour. And then I thought,
that's how good it was, right?
Yeah, I thought to myself, well, maybe we should have made more than 6.
Yeah, that's one of the things that us, older guys who play with that stuff as kids, you think about what you wish they would have made.
Yeah.
The military guys are like that too. There was some. I mean, hey, where's the BAR? For the, where's the Thompson for the, for the vintage military guys?
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, and some of the things that people are coming up with now, I think, are every bit as good and creative as Hasbro stuff.
Oh,
I mean, you've seen Angelo de Annabelle sets, the ones that he's made, a couple that are pretty cool.
Absolutely.
I've seen, yeah.
Well, my son is not really big in G.I. Joe, but he does have few. And when he saw the blob stuff, that Angelo made, he bought it immediately because it's one of his favorite movies. He loves that movie.
Yeah.
And he snapped that one up as quick as he said, I want that now.
Yeah, me too. I'm an old movie freak myself, especially in them old 50s sci-fi movies. That would be really neat to have like the giant bug ones, I mean, if you could possibly get a praying mantis, for example, that would be the correct scale as the giant one in that movie to Joe, But yeah, you're talking big stuff there and a lot of money to make. So yeah, you can't expect a company to do that unless there's big sales for it.
Well, I think that's one of the things that Greg said last night or the other night is that he was always trying to find a way to be able to offer something big to go with it, because that's what costs the most is trying to prepare something big. A few years ago, I was able to pick up a couple of the scorpion skeletons that they come out with around Halloween.
Yeah, I've seen those in the dollar stores. Yeah.
Yeah. I picked up a couple of those and was able to create a couple of things for that. But it's hard. It's hard to find. I'd like to find not a Jurassic Park thing, but I'd like to find something, dinosaur in that.
Geez, I could tell you a couple of things that are cool about that. A couple of things you can get. The Jurassic Park dinos that you can get at Walmart. Some of them are just about the right size for Joe. I've got 2 of them. One's a Velociraptor, and another one is another kind of little raptor dino like that. But they're just about the correct scale. I did a video on them, with other toys that work out with Joe pretty well. And they're cheap too. I think I paid like $17 for the first one. Well articulated little model. And it's, did I put that in a video? Yeah, I put that in one of my photo stories too. But you can find stuff like that if you look. The problem is that the tyrannosaurs and the really big ones are just not, they're just not big enough.
Yeah.
That's what I find with those. But I bought one anyway. It was just cool. Yeah, I got it at the Chicago Toy Show was it last April? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh no, it was last year already.
Yeah.
But yeah. And making customs out of stuff too. One thing that I started doing that I never quite finished, it was just an idea in my head that I was doing, was like make extensions of the AT sets. Like for example, take Spy Island and give it something like this. And some of this classic collection stuff. This is the Navy SEAL rigid hull inflatable boat.
Uh-huh.
Now tell me, yeah, no, is this what Joe should have took to Spy Island, or is that little rubber raft good enough?
No,
Kind of
no.
expanding onto vintage sets would be a great thing to do.
Yeah, there's no way Joe would have been in that little rubber dinghy.
Yep, and building custom vehicles that way too. I've done a couple that are pretty nice. In fact, I'm working on an MSV right now, but it's a
Is that
little bit of,
the yellow one over there?
yeah, the one on my workbench there, I was playing around with it. I won't keep exactly what it's going to be a secret for now, but it's going to be a custom special purpose MSV, and it's with a lot of Jim Egner created parts. You can see I got the cab top on there already.
Yeah.
So
Does he still sell that top?
yes, I believe so.
Okay.
It's pretty nice. It's well worth the bucks, man. I really like it. It's cool.
And
I
the
originally,
doors come open like that?
yeah, prototype. He's got one. Hasbro's prototype for the MSV cab was originally just an open top with a windshield like this.
Okay.
I think he's making a copy of that too, if I remember right. But this is pretty neat because you got these, the little details. You got the searchlights up here, and the gull wing doors are nice.
Yeah, I love that gold wing door.
Yeah, yeah, it's pretty cool. And Joe fits in there pretty good. And you got the louvers on the back there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And the chairs are in there too?
No, no. I took the chairs out. I've got a few chairs, but I
Okay.
took them out just
But
because they
but
were getting
you
in the.
can put them in there though. You can,
Oh
right?
yeah,
Okay.
oh yeah, definitely, yeah.
Okay.
It fits on there just like the original dome top did. Like I got stuff that's nice, in really nice shape that I keep on my shelves, and I wouldn't mess with a vintage piece in good shape. But if you got a beat up vintage piece, hey, why throw it out? Strip it for parts to finish another one, or modify it into something cool,
That's right.
something that Hasbro didn't think of.
That's right. That's right.
Yep.
So
Yep. So
you go to the toy shows in Chicago?
yeah, I usually run down there. It's only about 70 miles from me, so it's a quick trip, and I'll go down there on the Sunday and scoot around and see what I can find. In fact, the last time I went was the only time that I haven't bought anything since I went down there. The prices have just gotten so crazy. That's what it come down to. You get a beater loose Joe, and it's all, the paint on his head's all scuffed up, or he's missing half his flock, and he's all loose and floppy, and it's like, and he wants $70 or $80. No, sorry. To me, that's a $30 figure that needs a lot of work.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. But
And
lately these people have been thinking the stuff's made out of platinum instead of plastic. But I'm not feeding into that because that'll just make prices go higher.
right. Well, the thing that was amazing to me is when I went to Toy Atlanta, which used to be my favorite show. It was really the thing I looked forward to every year. And of course, COVID changed everything, messed
Yeah.
everything up. But the last time that I got to go last year, um, it was overwhelming. I could not even take it all in. It was just too much, But like you said, you'd go to one table and they'd have a guy here that was not really in that good of shape, and they want $100 for him. You go down to another table and this guy's got a bin full of them and he wants $5 each. And so I'm going, what?
Well, at $5 a crack, even if they are all beat up, that's well worth
Yeah,
it. You
yeah,
can fix them. Trust me, I
yeah,
fix them.
yeah. It just didn't make any sense. Why would I buy this when I can go buy a whole bin for $5?
Yep. Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty much, within the collector market like that, everybody's got a different perception of value.
Yeah.
For some people, like for example, I just bought a British SOTW vintage from a lady who she popped on one of the groups, and she's a Star Wars collector, and she bought a bin of Star Wars stuff, and it had that GI Joe laying in there, and it was in really good shape. And she was like, "Oh, well, how much you want to give me for it?" And I was thinking like, "Oh, you got no clue what it's worth." But my conscience kind of kicked in and said, "I tell you what, it looks to be in pretty decent shape. I'll give you $90 for it." That turned out to be well worth it. The figure was in really great shape. That's where
Good.
you get the deal. That's where you get the deals, though. Is where you find somebody who don't really know what they got, and you be honest with them. You get you spend a fair price, and they get a fair price. So
What year was that figure?
those are 67, if I remember right.
7. Okay.
So the Soldiers of the World figures.
Oh,
You
okay.
got the Brit and the Jap, and then there's what else? I don't have them all. I can't remember them all off the top of my head.
Yeah, the French Resistance, the
Yeah,
German guy. Yeah. Yeah,
and there's
those are kind of hard to find. Yeah.
yeah, they're not too. Yeah, I found that the complete sets are kind of tough to get all the pieces,
Mhm.
especially because some of the pieces are really fragile, like the German MP40 that comes with the German guy.
Right.
Those are almost always busted. But I haven't had too much trouble finding foreign heads. I mean, in my boxes over there with spare parts, I got 3 or 4 of them in pretty good shape. So,
Good.
but it's what everybody, they are less common than the standard vintage head. That's true.
Well, you evidently have a YouTube channel, right?
Yes, I do, sir.
Well, why don't you tell the address of that? And we will also put it in a link below so that people can just go and click on that. But go ahead and tell everybody what your channel is called.
Okay. Channel is called Medic Mike's Back on Duty. If you just look up my name, Michael Boinski, Boinski, and just type that into a YouTube search, you'll find it right away. And you'll find there a whole bunch of videos about repairing and fixing, and a few rambles, kind of like what we're doing right now about what I think about stuff too.
Yeah.
So let's see, what else have I got to show you? Oh, custom vehicles I like playing around
Yeah.
with
Come
too.
on, show us something.
I've got a good one here that I did quite a while back, and I've showed it off 100 times before, but it's so cool I just got to do it again.
Oh my goodness.
This
That
here, you remember what I was saying before, just a few minutes ago, about extensions of AT sets? Okay, this thing originally started out as my concept for like an extended, modernized version of the Secret of the Mummy's Tomb, and this was obviously the vehicle that he went out into the desert with.
right.
This is a formative international Soldiers of the World Jeep. You remember those guys from
Yeah.
back, what, 20 years ago now? These Jeeps are all over the place. You could buy them for $8 a crack. I took 2 of them, and I cut, excuse me, not 2. I took 1 of them, and I cut right about here
Uh-huh.
at the tail end off. I extended this with sheet plastic and then re-glued the end on to make it into a 6-wheeler. And
Amazing.
yeah,
What kind of glue worked for that?
for that, I used the 2-part epoxy, the same thing that I
Okay.
used for flocking. It's Bob Smith's 30-minute 2-part. Then I went
Okay.
ahead and I made the hood open since the hood didn't originally open. And let's see what else is cool about this.
There's a guy that 3D prints for the engines for that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
My
Because
Jeep my Jeep has engines in it that he 3D printed them.
you mean Pete Buckley's motors?
No, they look just like the ones that would be sitting in a Jeep.
Oh, really? Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
I'll have to send you a link to that.
Yes, do that, please. I would love to do that. And anyways, I put snaps here so this canopy. I hand sewed this dang thing out of a Desert Storm era VDU jacket.
Oh my goodness.
So it comes out, and you can roll the sides down with these ties, and they snap down here. And these are Tonka wheels.
Man, that is beautiful. That is
Oh, thank you. Yes. Yeah, I worked on this one pretty hard. It's pretty good. I
And I
like it.
bet whenever you show it, people want it, right? They want to buy it, right?
I haven't had anybody offer to buy it, but I have gotten a lot of wows. So that's close enough for me because I ain't selling this thing. I
No,
love
you
it.
won't sell it. No. When you build something like that, that's yours. That's
Yep,
yours, man.
you got that right, brother. Yeah, let's see what else did I do to it. Yeah,
I
a
see.
couple other little details that you
Yeah, I
can
see
see.
you put the seat covers on there.
Yeah, I went ahead and had some after I tore the shirt up to make the canopy. I
Uh-huh.
had some leftovers, so I made some seat covers. And I don't know if you can see it, but uh, I added like a map case and
Oh
stick,
yeah, yeah, I
yeah,
see it.
you know,
Yeah,
first aid kit and stuff. You know,
that
just
is
kind of
cool.
little details to make it look a little more realistic. But yep,
Well,
yep.
let me tell you something about the details.
What's that?
My grandson, he made a one of those German, I guess a German checkpoint, you know, where
Oh,
you'd
you
have
mean with
the
with the
little,
guardhouse and the
you'd
gate
have
and
the
everything?
guardhouse,
Yeah.
and you'd have the thing come down and everything.
Like in the Dirty Dozen, like that
Yeah,
one.
yeah, and
Okay.
it was absolutely beautiful, but he didn't win. And another guy won. And so I was talking to the judges and I said, you know, what would have made him win? He didn't win. So what would have been the thing that would have made him win? He said, well, he didn't have a chair in the guardhouse. He didn't have a phone in the guardhouse. If he'd have put a couple of details in the guardhouse, he would have won. And I went,
Yeah,
wow.
yeah. He learned something though too, didn't he?
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. So it's
Yep.
just a little detail. See, it's all in the details.
Yep. That's right. We didn't care
Absolutely.
about that stuff as kids, but nowadays, yeah.
Yeah.
If you look at Randy, you know Randy Hamrick?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Yeah, you've seen Randy's stuff, haven't you? He details the uniforms out with the stripes and the insignias and everything.
Yes. Yes.
And he also makes them so that he can just take it off and it's right back to vintage. I
Oh,
mean, the little details, that office dial he has, and he's always got the Joe in there smoking a cigarette and stuff. Yeah, yeah, I gotta give him credit for that, man. That guy knows how to make it look realistic.
yeah. He's all in the details. And that's where it's at. That's where it's at. Um, well, I told you what my favorite figure was. No, I didn't tell you what my favorite
Oh, you
figure
didn't?
was.
You
I
didn't? Yeah,
didn't.
tell me.
It's the Lancer, the British Lancer.
Oh, the Action Man one?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's
Oh
my favorite figure. And it took me a long time to be able to get it. When I finally got it, the spear was broken.
ouch.
And so I had to look for a spear, and I was never able to find an authentic one, but I found a reproduction one.
Oh, okay. Well, that's
So I
close enough for
got
now,
a
right?
reproduction one. Yeah.
Yeah. And I've done that with some stuff too. Some guys are vintage purists, and if it ain't vintage, it ain't right. Well, you know what? Hey, you're trying to find a Soldiers of the World Japanese bayonet. It's gonna be a while. So buy the damn Cotswold one until you find it. I mean, come on, guys. That's why
Yeah,
Cots put that stuff out there.
that's
But
right.
seriously, I'm not averse to putting a repro part or two if it's going to complete a set for me. You
Yeah,
know, close enough. And especially, what's the worst example is probably the Soldiers of the World medals.
yeah.
Good luck finding those. Tiny little items get lost all the time.
I think I bought my medals from Third Son.
Yep, that's where I got mine too.
Yeah, yeah. He
Uh,
does a good job, and
and
like you
again,
said, I'm not worried. I'm not worried about selling it and making money. I just want to have it. You know.
yeah, it's kind of like that for me too. I do have some really nice vintage complete stuff, but like I said, if it's to complete a set, hey, and especially if it's just a little part that's really tough to find. Sorry, I'm not paying $300 for a little chunk of metal like that. Well, I'm
No.
exaggerating; they're not that expensive, but they're up there.
Yeah. So
So
mine is the Lancer. What's your favorite figure of all of them?
my most favorite figure of all is the Talking AT Commander.
Oh,
I've got freaking 12 of them on my shelves. I have got in these other boxes here, I've got talk boxes and pieces, and I could probably make another dozen of them with talk boxes I have. As you know, it is probably the most common talk box.
is
Oh,
it?
the shoulder's probably, oh, wait, the soldier's probably a little more common, but the AT Commander comes up a second. I mean, and I've had people give me junk boxes and, and trade for work or just, hey, I don't need this. It's garbage. And I'll take it and I can fix this. And I fix it. So I got another one. So it's like,
Have you figured out why some of them are muffled and some of them are not?
if the voice is muffled, and by that I mean if it's clear but really quiet and hard to hear, that's usually a problem with with one of a couple of areas or a combo. The needles get dull and rusty, especially if they're exposed to a damp environment. This is really common with the Navy, the astronaut, and the Air Force guys because those ones just wound up in the swimming pool more often. You
Right.
know, kids
Right.
don't pay attention to the little thing in the box that says "Don't put the talker in water."
Right.
Obviously, the Navy guys are the worst on that. So if you replace the needle, clean the tape really well, the voice tape with alcohol. A lot of times that'll clear it up. And another thing that I found that does that is that for some reason, and I'm not sure why, you need better contact with the little plastic piece that holds the needle to the speaker, a little green button in the middle of the speaker.
Hmm.
Sometimes it doesn't make a good enough contact. Even if you've got a good back pad on the voice box. You with me so far?
Yes.
You've had them apart, you know what I'm talking about? Okay. So if you add another disc on top of the disc that's already on the speaker, a lot of times that'll bring up the volume. Some other things that I've found is that for some weird reason, certain torsos don't seem to sound as good as others or loud. And I'm not sure why that is. Maybe the torso's a little warped or something. But from time to time, I found that if I just simply swap the torso, it'll get louder too.
Hmm.
But I have no idea why that can be. But as I said, the speaker contact and the condition of the needle and the cleanliness of the tape are usually what makes them muffled.
Well, one year at Joe Atlanta, they had a guy there that was repairing them, and
You got to be talking about Scott Wild.
yeah, so I left it with him for 24 hours, and when he gave it back to me, he said, "This is the best I could do." And to me, I could tell no difference.
Okay. Right.
I could,
The reason for that most likely is this. It's like any other record. If you play, I mean, it's just a little record player in there. If you play a vinyl record 10,000 times, it's going to get quiet because those grooves are going to wear out.
yeah,
Same thing goes for these. I've had that happen a time or two myself. And sometimes the tape is just simply so worn that you can't make it get any louder.
yeah, because it's been played with a lot. Yeah, yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
You know, so that's just kind of how it goes. You can swap the tapes out with another one, but it's a pain in the ass, and when you do that, you also risk puncturing your fingers and tearing the tape. So when you do it, you got to be careful. What I would really like to see is somebody be able to reproduce those tapes, but
Well, are you talking about a tape or a record?
the whole tape, the whole voice tape inside the figure.
Okay, okay.
If you can, yeah, if those could be reproduced, that would be great. But I don't know how the heck you would do it. I don't know anything about the technology behind that.
I saw one guy. Well, y'all probably saw him too, where he put a voice box in a Joe that was not. I guess it was not a voice Joe, and it was an electronic thing, so he was able to record the
Yeah,
voices in there.
yeah, one of those little miniature MP3
Yeah,
players. Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
yeah,
That was pretty
yeah,
cool.
yeah. I thought about doing that myself. It's just that I was like, do I want to really do that to a vintage piece? And it's like, no. I'd rather find the voice box and make it work. But yeah, it is pretty cool. I thought that was a neat idea.
Yeah. Well, thank you for being with us. And listen, I wish you the best in collecting. And we're, like I said, we're going to have some links so people can go to your page or your YouTube channel. And I would encourage you, to subscribe to his channel. We can help this hobby continue to grow. The more we get it out there, get the word out there, tell people about it. And people like Mike and Paul and Angelo, these collectors are really the people that keep this hobby going. So keep it going. And remember,
Always.
toys are fun, man. Thank you, Mike.
You're welcome, Terry.
God
Thanks
bless
much,
you,
buddy.
man. God
All
bless
right.
you.
Have a great night.
Y'all have a good evening. See you next week. Bye.